Awesome. Well, once again, thank you this evening for joining us. We just wanted to provide a little update on where we're at with programming and also spring class registration. So as many of you are probably aware, I sent out an email right after the new year about the curriculum changes that were going to begin happening in 2022. There's four main areas where the curriculum is going to change in some ways for those folks that have children in the program prior to this year. That you'll notice is a bit different than it used to be. For those of you that may be on the call that are new to our program, and we do have some of those folks, I won't get into much of the old stuff. I will concentrate on the new stuff, which is exactly what we're going to be moving to, beginning with our spring classes here in 2022. So the first big change that is coming along for 2022, as you've seen and heard from me already, is our transition to age-based programs. Nothing new or really out of the box. A lot of other youth sports activities are done by age-based programs. Little League, soccer, all those have age-based programs. We used to have what we called player, par, birdie, eagle, which were levels based on age as well. But now we're strictly going with age-based programming. So the home office, the First Tee home office in St. Augustine, Florida, now actually moved to Sawgrass, where the PGA Tour is, as the PGA Tour is now the overall umbrella of the First Tee. So they've done a lot of research, done some feedback from parents, coaches, participants around the country, and just came up with a few suggestions that the home office of First Tee will be adopting. And as I said, the first one is the age-based program. So you'll register this spring for classes based on their age. There'll be groups of kids from 7 to 9 years old, 10 to 11, 12 to 13, and 14 and above. And the way we'll do that for this year, we'll base that off of the first day of class. So if a class starts on April 5th and your son or daughter turns 10, let's say they're going to turn 10 in May or in June, they're going to be in that 7 to 9-year-old group. If they turn 10 prior to the start of that class on April 5th, then they would be in the 10 to 11 age group. We understand there are some kids that fall very close to those dates. So we will look at those on a case-by-case basis, but for a majority, we are going to use that first day of class and what the age of the kid is at that point in time. If you have questions about that, you can reach out to me. I would ask that you use the email that I've been sending out, the TFTRV office at thefirsttrv.org. I know that's a long email, but that's our office email. And since I'm doing the executive director job and the program director job here for the next month and a half or so, I'm trying to keep everything as calm and sorted as I possibly can. And I'd like to use that TFT office email as my programming email, and then my M. McCabe email as all other stuff that I do as executive director. So if you want to talk about your son or child, your son or daughter, and age base, we can do that. You can just shoot me an email at that TFTRV office email, and we'll be glad to talk. When I say within that range, we don't really go more than about a 2-week before or after. So if classes start in early April and your son or daughter turns the next level age in May or June, don't waste your time, don't waste my time. they're going to be in that 7 to 9-year-old group for the spring. As I get into the couple other changes that are happening, we will be looking at this and seeing how it works. We may have to modify that policy of using the start date of class as the age requirement. But for now, just to make things smooth, that's what we're going to use. And that's really no different than what we've used in the past. We've always used the first day of the class that you're registering for as the qualification or the eligibility for your child into a certain level class. So there's really no change there as far as that part goes. But as I did say, we are going to be going by the age-based classes. So that's number one. Number two, you've noticed a little bit on some of our emails. If you've checked out our website, you probably haven't been able to miss it at this point, but you can see the First Tee has a new logo and some new branding and then some new wording. So coming along with that is going to be a refreshed First Tee curriculum. And once again, for those folks that have been in the program before, you know how the program's been running, what's been shared and learned and taught in the classes. That's not going to change for the most part, other than that there's going to be some updates to that curriculum, which is a good thing. It's been almost 25 years now that the First Tee's been in existence. So it was pretty much long overdue that our brand, our curriculum, our logo, all that stuff is being refreshed and updated to be a little more modern. And you'll be seeing more of that as we move on. The refresh curriculum, I apologize. I can't give you a whole lot more. I've seen a little bit from home office on where it's moving, but they are going to be releasing that to us here towards the end of March. I'm sorry, towards the end of February, early March. So it's going to be a pretty quick turnaround for us to implement it into the program. But as I said, it's not going to be an overhaul. It's just an update and a refresh on the curriculum. So those are the two things that are happening this year in 2022. The other two parts that I've mentioned a little bit are going to come to the latter half of 2022 or even into 2023. And those two is, for those that have been around, you know the registration, what the parent registration portal looks like. If you haven't seen it, you can go onto our website and click the register button and log in. If you're new to that, you'll need to set up an account. And I would highly recommend, if there is anybody on the call that is new and you haven't done that, you want to do that before Monday's registration. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But the parent registration portal will be getting upgraded, and you probably won't see that as a parent until 2023. But that's another part of the curriculum refresh and the rebrand. And then the last part, the fourth one, which once again, we won't see, in our case, we won't see it until 2023. But for those of you who have been in the program before, you're familiar with the yardage books that we give the kids at the different levels. 2023, those are going to go away, and they're going to go to a digital format. There will still be some hard copy stuff, but there will not be a yardage book that we've done in the past. It's going to go digital so that it could be done on a phone, an iPad, a computer. And once again, I don't have a ton of information to share on that, but because they have not released that to us yet. But we will be going to a digital yardage book in 2023. So just as a refresher there, the parent registration portal and the digital yardage books, they'll be more of 2023. But the age-based programs and the refreshed curriculum are coming in 2022. The one thing that we have decided as a chapter, and don't get me wrong, you're going to see a little more golf involved in our program than maybe if you've been with the program in the past. You're going to see a little more golf come to the forefront than you may have seen in the past. We're not getting rid of the core values or the life skills. Our coaches have been trained to teach all that in class and integrate it into our program. So it's not going to go away. It will still be there. But the one thing that we've decided this year as a chapter in transition to the new curriculum and the new digital yardage book is to forgo using any yardage books this year. Students will still get taught the information in class. Coaches will be going over that stuff, but we will not have physical yardage books because they are in development of being taken out of the curriculum and moved to the digital platform, and also being upgraded with the refreshed curriculum that we're kind of delivering moving forward. So we will not, for those of you that have been around, we will not be using yardage books in 2022. That doesn't mean it's disappearing. It will still happen in class. The students just won't have homework to do or complete any assignments in that book this coming year. So in summary, with the curriculum, as I said, the home office has been studying and has done extensive research and has now begun to roll this out to our chapters. And we've decided as a chapter to move forward and go with the age-based and the refreshed curriculum in 2022. And then our journey will continue in 2023 as the parent registration portal gets updated and we move to the digital yardage book. So that's briefly in a nutshell the part of the curriculum update that I wanted to discuss, and just let you know if anybody has any questions on that. If you want to type them into the chat feature, you can do that. If you don't want to ask in this forum and you want to reach out via email, that's fine as well. And I will be glad to talk and answer any questions on that as we go. I do see one question in the chat that I will respond to right now. And one of those, if you're thinking about, if you were in the program before, if we had our levels, player, par, birdie, eagle, and if a student came in, let's say at the age of 11, they would start in that player level, and then they'd have to progress up to get to the point where they're at the level of kids where they're the same age. That will not happen anymore. So what will change is, and it's not going to be difficult for the kids because they're going to now be in a class with their peers, with kids the same age as those, or relatively same age. It's going to be a little more difficult for our coaches in the new format of age-based programming, because and 7 to 9 year olds, it's still, it's learning. There's no PGA or LPGA Tour pros at the 7 and 9 year age level. But as we do get older, especially that 14 to 18 year old group, we're going to have some kids that have probably been out and played 18 holes and shoot, 70, 72, 73, 74, 75. And we're going to have some kids that are in that class 14 to 18 that are brand new to the game. So that is going to be one big change. That is going to be one big change that we are going to see. I honestly don't see it affecting the kids as much as it is the coaches, who are going to have to adapt their coaching style a little bit in order to make sure that whatever the golf activity or the golf component that they're working on, that they suit it towards the ability of that child. So that's going to be a little more difficult at our older levels than it is per se at some of the younger levels. but our coaches will be going through some training before the beginning of the season. We'll be addressing those issues. I would hope, I wouldn't expect that, week one, that's going to be all hammered out and it's going to be a smooth sailing. There will be some, I'm sure, bumps in the road, and we will have weekly coaches meetings to discuss those things as we move forward. But we will definitely have, we will definitely be challenging the kids in class based on their skill level. But on the other side, they will be in a class now with their peers, and they won't be in a class with kids that are much younger than them. So that's one thing that I really like. So there was a question about how we are going to maintain the engagement level given the bigger spread in skill sets. So kids will still be on the range, but coaches will be working with the kid individually on what their skill set is. So if a coach sees a kid that is struggling or maybe new, they're still going to get them the basics and get them working on the basics. And as they would move to a kid that may be a little bit of a better ability, they will work with them in a little different way than they will that kid that maybe is new to the program. So like I said, it's not going to be smooth sailing right at the beginning, but our coaches, I fully believe in our coaches and the training that they've been through and the training that they'll continue to receive, that will not be a major problem moving forward. Next thing, I see somebody asks about the classes, the age groups. So we will not move. So the question is, siblings 9 and 10, could they be in the same class? So the answer to that question is no. We will strictly adhere to our age categories. And the reason is the content that's being delivered in those age categories. So we know that can be hard for somebody that has 2 kids and trying to get to 2 different classes. But it really wouldn't be fair for the older kid to attend the younger session, and it wouldn't be fair to put the younger kid in the older session. So yeah, we will stick to those age categories pretty strictly moving forward. And the second part of the question was, how does the program work at the PGA Tour Superstore? It works pretty similar as it does at any of our facilities. They'll be working on their golf games, although it won't be outside, it will be inside hitting in the nets. There is a putting green there that they can use to do putting practice, but they will still be doing pretty much the same things that we are doing at our outdoor facilities. So there's not a whole big change of the PGA Tour Superstore program. Now, with that being said, if you do have a child in our program right now in the winter session, that is really strictly just golf skills. So there's not a lot of talk about the core values or any life skills the first tee delivers. It's really about golf skills in the winter months. And as we move forward doing more winter programming, that may change. But at the present time, the winter classes are really a golf class. Somebody asked, did I state that the first tee is coming under the PGA umbrella? It is actually under the PGA Tour umbrella. So ultimately, if I had, ultimately our CEO reports to Jay Monahan, who's the PGA Tour commissioner, and all of the home office first tee staff work with the people at the PGA Tour in Sawgrass in Florida. So that's where we stand there. Any changes to rookie or advanced target? No, it's still 5 and 6 year olds. You have to take a rookie class of 5 and 6 before you can go to the advanced. There's no exceptions there. None of that has really changed. Yes, registration opens Monday at noon, 7 o'clock. And with that being said, I think I answered that next one. I'm going to pause on the chat feature, and I'm going to move into just a couple items I have about actual first tee registration, which is coming up, and spring classes. And then I'll finish up going over the last couple questions in the chat. And then if anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask a question using their real voice instead of a chat, we can do that. And I'll stay and answer questions and as long as needs to be. So we'll do that for now. So as we've said a few times tonight, and we've said in a couple emails, spring registration will begin on Monday, February 7th at noon. One thing I want to point out, the way we do registration is if we have a class and it has one coach, we try to stick to our number of 6 students to one coach. We try to keep that ratio as best we can. We do push it a little bit as we get to the older kids because they're a little more mature. We don't need eyes in the back of our head to be watching out what's going on behind us with most of those kids. So we do stretch that 6 to 1 a little bit at the older level, but at the younger levels, we keep that pretty strict 6 kids to 1. And the way it works is if a class, we work with the facilities and our coaches to come up with our schedule. So it has to be a partnership between us, the facility, and the coach, and to get these times. So we schedule as many classes as we can. Some cases it's not as many as parents want, but we do the best as we can. I think we have about 20 new coaches, or I'm sorry, not 20 new. We have 20 returning coaches, and I think I have about 6, maybe 5 or 6 coaches that will be coming on board. So with that being said, you'll see the initial schedule was put out today. That is by no means the final schedule, and by no means will the final schedule be up come Monday. We will add classes. I'm hopeful that we will add classes after registration opens when we add new coaches and we see where waiting lists might be a little full. We'll try to add some classes. Anytime we add a new class, we won't just haphazardly throw it up on our website and let it fill in. We will make an announcement prior to when those are going to get added and when they will open, so that if somebody wants to, if somebody's on a wait list and they want to move to another class, they'll have time to go ahead and register for that class. So we will try to, as we add new classes, we will try to do that. Now, if we're specifically adding a class for, because one class is, let's say the 1 o'clock Galloping Hill 7 to 9-year-old class is full, we're going to try to add a class to accommodate that wait list. We will go off the wait list first. We won't just open it to the public. We will work off the wait list before we do that. But for instance, those of you that might be on the call that are interested in classes in Hunterdon County, you'll see at the bottom of the schedule that was posted today and sent out that Heron Glen has not been confirmed yet. We have a coach in place. We have a commitment with the coach and what we want to do with the class. We're waiting on a confirmation from Heron Glen. So we did have some troubles with I don't say troubles. We did have some issues with COVID and Hunterdon County, where they were not allowing junior programs at any of their county operated facilities, whether it be golf or any other facility that they owned. So there's a little more of a confirmation we need from them besides just the people at Heron Glen. They have to ask with the county. So we're still waiting on that confirmation, but we are confident that that will get added. A class like that, though, since there's no wait list, we will announce that, hey, Heron Glen classes are going to open up on this day and this time, and then that way it will be open to everybody. So but I want you to understand that the class list that you see is what we've confirmed now, and our hope is to add more. We have a few people on the call tonight, and I will stress that you should try to register as promptly as possible. I know by 12:15 on Monday, there will be classes that are full. Now, does that mean that that class is full and it's done with? No. As I said, we keep that number 6-1, and if we have a second coach, an assistant lead coach, we'll go to 12-1 at most. But then what we'll start doing over the next several weeks is we'll start adding our volunteers into those classes. We don't increase the ratio the same for volunteers because they don't go through the same training that our coaches do, but we do increase numbers in classes based on the number of volunteers that get assigned for certain classes. So with that being said, class numbers might be set low right now, but they will hopefully go up when we begin to add the volunteers in. And the way that process works is if we add another coach or another volunteer after the initial one, we will increase the size of the class and it will work off the wait list. The important part here for you to know is that when we do that, it automatically works down the wait list, the number of spots that we add, and invites those people via email to finish the registration. With that email there comes a clock that starts ticking when that email is sent. And it's a 24-hour clock to complete the registration. If that registration isn't completed, it then just abandons that registration and moves to the next. Once it's abandoned, 99% of the time, there's nothing we can do about that. Unfortunately, it's all works off the registration system. So you want to make sure, as I mentioned already in one of my emails, that you realize that the noreply@firstt.org email address is where that email is going to come from. And you want to make sure that's in your contacts so that email comes to your inbox, not spam, not your junk folder, not now I've seen this new folder, which is called promotions. I've seen it go to that email, to that folder on people's emails. So if you add noreply@firstt.org, that email will come to your inbox and not to your spam, junk, or the promotion folder you might have with your email. So it's important. The other thing we try to do is if we are going to, and please bear with me because I will be, as I said earlier, I'll be a one-man band here for most of the registration process this spring. I will try to give you a heads up with an email from me first saying, hey, this class, you're on the wait list. We're going to open it up. Be expecting an email to complete your registration. I will do my best to do that. I'm not going to guarantee I'll be able to get to everyone, but I will do my best, which is usually pretty good. So I will try and send that email to give you a heads up so you don't have to worry about that. So let's see what else about First Tee right now. Spring. I talked about the no reply part. I talked about the FTRV office email. One other thing I want to mention, which is kind of a little bit off topic from what I've been talking about, is our coaches. I got several emails in the last day or two from parents wanting to reach out to one of our coaches. We do not supply coaches' information to parents. If it's a question about First Tee, it should come through our program director. I know at this point we don't have the program director, but for now that would come through me. But we don't give out their personal email or their personal phone number for you to contact them. If you want to develop a relationship with them at class and they want to share that information with you, they can. But our opinion with our coaches is that they're there to conduct our class and coach the class. They get told by our program director of what's going on in the chapter, how things are running. So if there's really any question about programming, it will come from our program director. It won't come from our coaches. So just please keep that in mind when asking about that information. if you want, I will more than happily share your contact information with the coach, and it would be their responsibility or their prerogative to get back to you if they wish. But once again, there's not unless it's something outside of First Tee, there's really not a need to contact them because everything would come through our office. So I just wanted to make sure I touched on that real quick because I've had a couple emails in the last couple days about reaching out to our coaches. So we'll go from there. All right, let me get back to some questions here and then we'll open it up. Let's see. We've gotten a couple more, so I have to scroll back here. I talked about what we used to call Target Rookie and Target Advanced. That's now our 5- and 6-year-old class. There's no changes there. Rookie, you must take a 4-week rookie class before you go into the advanced class. Registration opens if you're not reading the emails we're sending out. You're gonna get left out. Please, we typically don't send out unimportant emails. Everything is usually important that we send out. And registration is on Monday, February 7th, starting at noon. Thank you, somebody there helping me out answering that question I see as we move down. Another Target rookie class, hopefully I did that. If the kid was enrolled in the program previously, would the system limit the kids to enroll in the class specific to their age group? No, the classes are now, the eligibility for the classes, and if you haven't logged in yet to Salesforce, to the registration system, you can do that and you can see the classes listed. You can't register yet, but you can see them. They are set up based on age. So it doesn't matter what level your son or daughter may have been at the past. If they're 10 years old, they're going to be eligible to register for any 10 and 11-year-old class. Okay, so yeah, no, it's not going to prevent them from registering in anything this year because it's all by age. Okay. My son wants to level up. He's 9 as of January 27th. Is this possible? Well, if he just turned 9 a couple days ago, then he's going to be in that 7 to 9-year-old group. He is not eligible for the 10 and 11 age category group until he turns 10. So no, you cannot move up to a different age category. Are there any plans to bring winter programming closer to the Brunswicks? I'm assuming people are asking about North Brunswick, South Brunswick, and East Brunswick. And if I missed any other Brunswicks that there might be. We will gladly do winter or indoor programming anywhere we can find room to do it at. So if you know of a place, you know, we're okay with paying a little bit for use of the space, but we just need the space. And what I'll explain quickly is, if you've been following our emails, we're doing some winter programming at the Florham Park Sports Dome. We're not actually in the dome itself. We're in a room that's towards the back part of the building. We've put up some nets and we brought in some turf mats. And we've been doing some hitting of golf balls into the net and working with students on their swings for the last couple of weeks there. So we don't need, and when I say a room, I'm bad at this, but the room's probably, I don't know, 50 by 30. So it's a decent sized room where we can put up 4 nets and have mats to hit into those nets. So we don't need a ton of room, but if you know somewhere in your area, please reach out to me and let me know. It's a little late for this winter, especially since, once again, Dana has left us and I'm the only one standing for the next month or so. It will be hard for me to do that now, but I would entertain talking to you about that for 2020, late 2022 and 2023. And that's any area too. Will classes be listed before the registration opens to know what class you need? Yes, the registration. So there was an email sent out today with the schedule as of today. As of late today, I was able to finally get it up on our website. I apologize. I know I said it was going to go on the website at 10 o'clock today, but I had some website issues and we were unable to get those corrected until late in the day. That's why I sent the email out to everybody in our database with the schedule so that you could have it. I didn't want to make anybody wait for that. So yes, there's 3 ways you can see the schedule right now. There's an email this morning that came out. It's now posted 2 places on our website, or if you go into the registration system itself, you can see the classes that will be open as of right now come Monday at noon. All right. Cost per child for class. It's still 9 weeks. The 9-week classes are $150. That price has not gone up now in about 3 or 4 years. We do keep it. We're trying to keep it there. We are a nonprofit organization. We do raise money to try and to keep those costs as is. And as long as myself and the board continue to do a good job with fundraising, those prices will stay the same. So it's $150 for 9 weeks. The target, the 5 and 6-year-old classes are a little bit different because they're fewer weeks. One is 4 weeks for $80 and the other one is 6 weeks for $100. And all that information, once again, is on our website. Volunteering. If you want to volunteer, send me an email at TFTRV office at thefirsttrv.org. And you will get information about volunteering. If you've been a volunteer, I will be getting to those folks next week. So that will be coming up. Question was, what's the end of the email address? Once again, it's no reply at firstt.org. No reply at firstt, all spelled out, .org. Okay, somebody, thank you for doing the rates. I appreciate that. What is the difference between groups in terms of content? If you've been in our program before, you know what the content is. The life skills that we teach are a little bit different. We're not so for instance, at the 7 and 9-year-old level, we're not talking about goals and goal setting. You know, we're talking about how to show respect on the golf course and respect to others, using some of those core values that we're teaching. Where at the older levels, we're talking about goal setting. What else are we talking about? We're talking about ALR, which is ask, listen, respond. And so there is a difference between the levels of what we're teaching, and we're teaching towards basically the age of the students, just like in school. We're not teaching chemistry in 1st grade. We're teaching the alphabet, right? We're teaching numbers. We're teaching simple math concepts. Same thing in 1st T. The differences in the curriculum, and I don't want to get into it specifically here, but the differences in the curriculum at the different age levels is based on the age level. So if you have further questions, I'll be happy to answer that outside of this conversation. Well, good question. Will there be tests at the end of the year to level up to the next similar level how it was in the past? No, there is no more certification. Once a kid's age changes, they will move right to the next age group and level. The one thing there will be, and I didn't get into it earlier with the changes, part of the changes that are coming, it's going to be, I like to say it's going to be a little bit more like, video games. So a kid doesn't play the video game for 2 years and then move up a level. They could play it for 10 or 15 minutes or maybe 2 or 3 days, and they move up a level or 2. That's what's going to be coming once we get further into this curriculum refresh. There's going to be opportunities within each level for kids to earn badges. So they'll get a little more reinforcement, a little bit more of a gratification of reaching a goal quicker than the old way when we took 2 years before we could give them a test and move up. So there's no tests anymore starting this year. There's no more tests to move up. Once your age moves up, you move up. Or once you have a birthday and you move up to the next age, you'll be able to move into that age category. There will be no more tests. I think I answered that. Okay. Junior League team. This has nothing to do with the 1st T, but yes, stay tuned to those emails. I don't want to get off topic too much. There will be PGA Junior League team availability this year. There will be an addition. In the past, we only did PGA Junior League for 13 and younger. This year, I will be coaching and running a PGA Junior League team or teams for those kids ages 14 to 17. Don't want to get into it more, but more information will be coming. Before long via email. Volunteer coaches next week. I hope to talk out to volunteers. So next week, what do they need for B first class? I'm not sure what that question is. And are there summer camps? Yes. Slow steps, baby steps. Once again, people might have joined us late. You might have been quarantined maybe because of COVID. But as I'd said before, our program director resigned a little less than 2 weeks ago. So that leaves me. We only have 2 full-time staff members at First Tee Raritan Valley. And with Coach Dana moving on to another chapter, that leaves me. And I will have to do everything until we hire somebody new to fill that position. But yes, there are summer camps. The schedule will be coming out. Let me see here. I just wrote it down. The summer camp schedule will be released on February 28th, and registration will open on March 7th. So that's coming up. There will be summer camps this year, and we've also added a couple summer camp dates too. Not new locations, but some extra weeks there as well. So we will be having summer camps. That is the end of the questions in the chat. I think I still have the Zoom set up to about 8 or 8:15. If anybody wanted to ask a question I haven't answered, I'd be open to that. And the one other thing I want to plug real quickly is if you have a student, if you have a child who is ages 11 and up, you saw an email that came out this morning about the 2022 national and local participant opportunities. Those are for kids ages 11 and up. I'm going to have another call like this tonight, next Wednesday night, pertaining to that. You want to register. For that. So yeah, I can send you the Zoom link, but it should be the parent and the child. As kids get older in our program, we really want them to take on the responsibility of, doing things for themselves. So those kids that volunteer for us that are a little bit older, we don't talk to mom and dad about them volunteering. We want them reaching out to us to volunteer. We don't want to have mom or dad be that intermediary every time we're trying to talk to them. So yeah, we will have that participant opportunities call next week. Register for that through the link in the email that was out today, and we'll get you the Zoom link for that next week. Some really cool opportunities nationally and then locally for kids in our program that are 11 and up. I saw one more question. Can we enroll for 2 classes at different locations? That answer would be no. We ask that we can't restrict it in the registration system. If we find it, we will cancel it and ask you which one you want to go to. But the reason we don't allow kids to register for multiple classes in one session is simply the fact that we have a demand which is much higher than we have locations and coaches available to coach. So until we can really accommodate everybody with that, we want to try to give as many kids an opportunity to participate in a class in the session. So with the limited number of spots in classes, it's really hard to allow a student to attend the same class at 2 different locations or even at the same facility on 2 different days. So no, we do not allow you to do 2 different classes, even at the same facility or different locations. So yeah, we definitely don't allow that. Summer classes, for the last couple of years, we've had summer classes. They've seemed to work. We're not sure if that's been a thing because of COVID. A few years back, we did try to do summer classes and attendance went way down. But I would assume we will be having summer classes, and we'll get to that as we move along through the spring. So we will go from there. This meeting is being recorded and it will get posted as soon as possible. Is email the only contact method, or can we message too? I guess you're talking about text messaging. Right now, I don't need text messages from 100 and 300 parents. So no, I would ask that you try to keep questions to the TFTRV office at the firsttrv.org email. I will answer those in a more timely fashion than I will text messages and phone calls. I promise you. I like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on right now, and there's a lot of messages coming in, and it's really only me to answer those messages. So I want to make sure I answer them all correctly, and in the order they've come in. So I will try to do that. I would appreciate no text messages, or if you want to call, that's fine, but it's still gonna be, if you call our office number, you're gonna get a recording. We no longer have a live phone in our office. It goes to a recording, and then we get notified via an email that we have a message, and then we return the call. So it does take a little time, especially if I'm not in the office. So yeah, your best bet is an email at this point in time. Yes, the meeting next week will focus on the opportunities for the 11 and up and the high school, more importantly, the high school age kids, correct. Somebody has a question that they tried going on Salesforce and it keeps showing them the Met New York classes. What happened there is apparently you left. I'm going to be blunt and frank about this. What that basically has meant that, and it's okay. I'm not going to hold a grudge, but what has happened is you've decided to go and take a class with the First Tee Met New York. So even though they use the same registration program and system, your account, your household is now tied to their chapter. So that's why you're seeing their classes and not seeing Raritan Valley. So the only way for you to fix that is to reach out to them, and they have to reach out to the home office, and the home office has to transfer your account, your household back to our chapter. So if you decided to take, because it worked, maybe your schedule at work better for your child to attend a class at, let's say, the Plainfield West 9, that's fine, no problem. You just have to reach out to Met New York to get your household transferred back to our chapter. So that's a very good question. That happens on occasion. So no big deal. You just have to reach out to them. I can't transfer that for you. Anything from people live? Anybody want to talk? I'm here. Don't be shy. You can turn off your camera and ask. Anything I missed? Come on, I'm not that good.
Hey, this is Ronak. I just have a quick question. So Westfield 9 that you mentioned, that is in South Plainfield, New Jersey, but it is part of New York chapter?
Yes. So I'm not going to get into First Tee politics.
Okay.
I've never been interested in politics. It's happened.
Okay.
It happened way before me. But yes, even though the West 9 is smack in the middle of Middlesex County, which is our county,
Yes.
its parent chapter is Met New York, not First Tee Raritan Valley.
Okay, good to know.
So yeah, that happened way before I started with the First Tee. I can give you the history, but that's for another day, maybe over a cup of coffee. But yeah, they are part of Met New York. They do an excellent job over there at the West 9. I've known Bill Kastner for probably 20 years. He's a great guy. But yeah, I can't answer any of their programming questions. But if their schedule works better than maybe our classes at Ashbrook, which is a mile away, hey, that's fine. All I care in the end is that your kids, learning how to play golf and part of the First Tee program.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Mark, just a quick question. The email for the participant, on the body of the email, it says it's Tuesday, but when you click on the link to sign up, it says it Wednesday. Is it Wednesday or Tuesday?
It is Wednesday. My apologies.
Not a problem.
That's
Okay,
what
thank
happens when you rush to get things done. I will resend that out, though. It is Wednesday night.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, Wednesday night's the only night my daughter, I don't have to take my daughter to ice hockey practice. So we're going to visit that opportunity thing next Wednesday night. But yes, it is Wednesday night at 7:00. Wednesday at 7. Any other questions?
Mark,
Go ahead.
I have a quick question about, because I missed that part, the summer camp. So are you guys going to still have summer camp?
Yes. I did mention a little bit earlier in the call, we will have summer camps. Let me look on my notes here again. The schedule's going to be released February 28th and registration's going to open March 7th. And I would say one thing for those of you that are still with us, the website is a really good resource. I did just update that information that I gave out about summer camps late today, but yes, a lot of the information is on our website and it goes up in a pretty timely manner. So even if I'm only by myself for a little while, that will keep getting updated. So if you have a question like that, or you forget when registration opens or when summer camps are or whatever, just go to the website and look. It's a little different because, like I said, it was part of the rebrand and the refresh of the First Tee brand, but the information is up there.
Okay, I'm new. My daughter is 7 years old, so it's going to be the first time that she actually going to play golf. And that was the one who asked the question, what does she need for the first class? Like, you provide everything that they need, or?
Great question. So when you go through for class registration, there's going to be a step in the registration process that asks you if you need to borrow clubs. You say yes. If they need to borrow clubs, it's going to then ask you how tall your child is and if they're right or left-handed. When you complete that information and you finish your registration, it comes to us. We'll have clubs at the first class for the child. So you request clubs through the registration process.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mark,
Yes.
I'm new to the program too. We tried getting my son in last year, but wasn't able to. On the website, I'm already registered, but is there a way of putting in like payment information prior to, so when the registration opens, that like everything's in there and I can just hit the registration button and hit pay and then it's all done, so we don't get hit to a wait list or get, put out and he doesn't get in again this year?
That's a great question, and I do not know the exact answer, so I'm making a note of it here. I will get an answer tomorrow. And if you would just shoot me, it can be in the chat feature right now, or you can shoot me an email. That way I can reply back to you. I'd like to post it for everybody since people are here. So maybe I'll just send out an email to that effect, because that is a good question. And I don't know.
That would be great for everybody. That would be a fair case for everybody if we could do that, and it's just one click. So I think if we could just email this again, would be great. Everybody's fighting on the same thing. Everybody wants to be in the program.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. That's not something I can change. It's either done or it's not. Like, that's not something I can magically make happen in a week.
No,
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 I'm
I
just
under,
saying, if it is the option, I think everybody should be made aware of that. I mean, everybody else is sitting there, like, lunch break or whatever, taking a little extra lunch break to get online just to only hear that I'm waitlisted or, what it is. So if it is a way that you can set it up, just that you have to go in and click one button, it makes it fair around for everybody.
Yes, I agree with that. My initial thought when the question was brought up is that no, it's not an option, because I also do some other work outside of First Tee with a Winter Golf League, and we use a program online where when they register, they can save their credit card information in the program that we use. I don't think that's an option in our registration, but I need to find out.
Hey, Mark, question.
Go ahead.
With regards to registration, so as the lady was talking about registration, like, is any priority given to the students who already enrolled in the previous classes, so they can continue, or is it free for all kind of thing?
At the present time, we're still first come, first serve.
I'm just trying to give you an example. The lady earlier talked to you about. Are you there?
Yes, I'm listening.
So we tried to enroll it, we got system got frozen. We were kicked out. By the time we came back in, signed in, and it was already filled. Classes were filled in.
Yeah.
So what should we be doing at that point? Like,
Yeah, so let me answer your question. At the present time, we are first come, first serve. We've talked for a number of years about a lottery system, about giving preference to people that have been in and stuff. We've talked about it. We haven't made a change. It's right now, it's first come, first serve.
Okay.
The only thing I can say about the registration system is that, knock on wood, it works pretty well. There is an occasion something like what you just explained happen. What I would recommend is I would not log into your account until exactly at 12, because I know what happens for some people. They log in, they're in the system, then 12 o'clock hits and the classes come live to register, but people's computers don't refresh quick enough. And then they're sitting there and waiting. Well, people have already that refreshed their browser or got in after can register. So, problems happen. I understand that. If you do have a problem, reach out to me right away, and I'll see what I can do. But as far as I know, it's
keep a distance of 6 feet from those around.
Pretty good so far.
Eventually, we got enrolled in anyway. We put in as a wait list, so it worked out fine. But like we were like a little bit like say like what happened here? We didn't.
I understand, and I hope there won't. Knock on wood. I hope there won't be any. I don't need any problems like that come Monday, please.
Thank you, appreciate it.
But yeah, I will be in the office on Monday, sitting at the computer watching. So if you want to. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll be monitoring email for the first hour and a half of registration on Monday.
Thank you, appreciate it.
No problem.
Mark?
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Kevin. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So
I'm sorry, you're cutting out. I'm not getting your question.
Amazing program. Our son was 4.
I'm going to ask you to mute yourself because you're breaking up and we can't hear you. I do see a question now. What time does registration start? Once again, it starts at 12 o'clock on Monday, noon, lunchtime. Just remember, Monday when you're taking a break at work for lunch, it's time to register your son or daughter. Spots.
Mark, I have another question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
The question is, I heard you earlier, you talking about the other charter, the New York Metro. So I'm in the Plainfield area.
Mhm.
I like to use the Gallup and Hill course, but I am closer to that South Plainfield course. Are we have the option to switch or no?
Oh, yeah,
Or
you
is that
do.
easy to do or is not?
No, no, no. So you can switch. That there's no, I mean, there's no harm, no foul to switch. The only thing I have to warn you about is if we right now, if our chapter Raritan Valley is the account is the parent account or the parent chapter to your house, to your account in the computer, you need to let me know ASAP, so I can get you transferred to them. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see their classes. And secondly, I can't tell you when their registration opens, or maybe it's opened already. I don't know. So that would be up to you to decide and notify me ASAP.
That's fair enough. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
hey, I put it in the chat, but it's Kevin. Can you please see, is there any chance to please get more teachers? Because this is such a beautiful opportunity rather than it be such a frenzy for everyone.
I would take on more coaches. They're paid positions. I just need people to work. People want to have to work, right? I can't magically make people come work and be coaches. I wish I could, but I can't. We're always advertising. If you know of somewhere where I can advertise, I have job descriptions. I can put them out there. We would take 50 more coaches. But we've sent it out now for probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I think we've gotten about 5 inquiries. And that's our whole chapter. It's not just Tamarack, but I'd be more than happy to bring on more people if I could. We're not limiting it. It's based on people who want to join, want to work and make a commitment to coach and get paid.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you. And do you see, I put my email to you in the chat. Can you please email me? I would be great to maybe have a discussion.
Okay.
Do you see my email in the chat? The Kevin?
I saw
Thanks.
it's our Kevin_F@Yahoo.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Mark. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mark, another question for you. You ever reach out to some of the coaches at the Top Golf in Edison there? That know the program, they might be looking to do extra, or is there some type of code of conduct that they can work at both places? I mean, I've taken lessons with my son at the Top Golf, and they have they have qualified coaches there.
Yeah, I don't know what I've been to Top Golf once or twice. It's not somewhere I've gone to a lot, but I've been there. I do know they have some people that give lessons. I don't know any of them personally. But I would, if they would be interested in working in coaching first tee classes, we're willing to talk to anybody. We're not limiting it to who we can talk to, other than somebody might be mentioning here about high school kids. I'm not going to dismiss a high school kid from coaching, but they have to go through the training program just like everybody else did.
When do the schedules come out again?
Schedules are out. They are on our website. They were sent out via an email today, and they're posted in the registration system.
Okay, so I do have to log in and then check.
You can, or you just go to our website and check.
Okay, thank you.
Somebody was asking about the high school kids. The coaches, yeah, the coaches might be interested. I have a little different comment about most high school golf coaches. Unfortunately, some of the high school coaches are nothing more than chaperones, which is unfortunate because high school golf is a lot of fun. I played it when I was in high school, and I went on to play in college. So yeah, high school coaches, if they're interested, they want to coach, be a first tee coach and get paid, that we would be open to them. The high school students usually typically though work out a lot better as volunteers, but I'm not against hiring a high school kid if they want to work and they're they can.
Hey, Mark, question on the schedule for the
Mhm.
spring. I was just
Mhm.
seeing the spring schedule right now.
Mhm.
Previously it was by the classes names. Now I see the age group. So is it not by the age group now? Sorry, I missed the initial part of the session.
Yep, it's now, I'm gonna just reference that, yes, it's now by ages, and this recording will be hopefully up by tomorrow morning, and you can watch it again. I did go over all that earlier.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's what I missed it. Sorry, thank you.
No, it's okay.
So we can
Hi,
enroll,
excuse-
according to their age now, right?
Yes,
Wherever we
just
want it.
simple, basic
just
underlying thing is now you
according to
register
their-
by their age, yes.
Okay,
Hi.
so
I just had a question about the Paramus Superstore. That
Yes.
is listed under the Metropolitan, under the New York chapter.
Yes,
So,
because
so
it's in
where-
the PGA Tour Superstore in Paramus is Essex County. That is not part of the First Tee of Raritan Valley. The PGA Tour Superstore in Hanover, in East Hanover, is in Morris County. That's part of First Tee of Raritan Valley.
Okay, so who do you set up the account with? Raritan Valley or Metropolitan? If you
For the
want to go to Paramus,
You have to contact Met New York.
Met New York, okay, specifically, so it's
Yes.
confusing. All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm sorry, Coach Mark, I may have missed it. I tuned in a little bit late.
That's okay.
But it's for volunteer coaches, are they just emailing the main email for consideration?
If they are returning student volunteers, I will be reaching out to them via email next week.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Yes, that's a good question. Looks like Jen Allen. I don't know if you're still here, but we do have one class at Ashbrook, which is called Kids on Course. That is a little different than our age level classes. So yes, the answer to your question, Jen, if you're still here, you can register for the Kids on Course class and an age level class, but that's the only instance where you can register for two classes.
Okay, I have one more question about this
Sure.
Paramus store. If you thought that the spring session you needed to do at Paramus, you have to have an account with the Metropolitan.
That's
But what
correct.
if you want to do the summer camp? And then can you open a second account at Raritan?
You could do that. You could do that. The problem is we're not going to be able to see anything that they've achieved or done at the Paramus store. So the right way to do it would be to get your account transferred back to our chapter then and register for the summer camp. Otherwise, when I go in, I'm only going to see what you did with us, and they're only going to see what you did with them.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, can you talk a little bit more about the youth on course? Is that like, are you gonna pair the kids together or they just go out and play on their own?
No, so we have one class at Ashbrook in Scotch Plains, which is called Kids on Course. And all that really is there's a coach, there's a PGA professional. Ashbrook has a 9-hole short course. The holes are 50 to 90 yards long. And they actually go out and play on that course every week.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
And what is the age limit for that course? Can anybody register?
Don't quote me on this, and I apologize. I think it says it in the registration thing. I think it's 11, but I could be. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see here. If there's any other questions, I'll answer them while I'm looking this up.
Mark, do we register through your website for that course as well, or do we have to do somewhere else?
The one at Ashbrook, the Kids on
Yes.
Course? Yes,
Yes.
it's through. It's listed just as a class is in our registration system.
Awesome. Thank
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. The ages for the Kid on Course, Ashbrook Kids on Course on Saturday mornings is ages 11 and up. It says it will take place on the pitch and putt course at Ashbrook. Participants must have experience on the golf course in order to register for this class, and they must be able to walk and carry their bag or bring their own hand cart because, like I said, it's not long, but there is 9 holes and it'd be just like they were out in the golf course playing. So we want to have a little bit of experience. They don't need to, they don't have to be out there playing the 18-hole course or anything for experience, but we hope that they would have been on the golf course once or twice before going to this class. Let's see.
Can I just chime in?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Okay, I had put something in the chat. My son does travel baseball as well, and we're not exactly sure of the schedule yet.
Okay.
And the event that we scheduled for a first tee class, and there is a conflict. Do you do refunds? Can I put the money towards the summer? He's been doing it for several years now.
We take all those on a case-by-case basis. We try not to do credits because it gets really, really hectic and hairy. It's hard. But if that were to come up, you could reach out to me and we can discuss it.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
And how does the age group work? Let's say my kid is 6 right now, but then by the time the class starts, he's gonna be 7. So do I still enroll him in the target class or the age group class?
No. So the system works off of the date of birth for your child and the class start date. So if your child even though registration is right now, let's say he turned 7 on March 1st. And obviously that's now where he's only 6, but the class doesn't start till April. It will know that and it will allow you to register for that 7 to 9-year-old class.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. There's a good question. Somebody asked, how can we, meaning the parents, I guess, or folks, help us get more golf courses to have the first tee program? For example, Metuchen Golf and Country Club and Middlesex County. That's a good question. So there's, it's a process to bring on a course as a first tee program. First of all, they have to, kind of want us there. Golf courses are busy nowadays with the pandemic. That's one positive thing that came out of the pandemic, is that golf is booming again. So places are maybe a little bit more hesitant to allow us to come in and do some classes. But what we do is we work with them. That's why we have classes some places Saturday mornings, some weeknights, some Saturday afternoons. We work with whatever facility it is. So that's one part of it. Then we also, obviously, we need a coach. We've talked about that a little bit here tonight. We do need a coach. So we kind of have to marry between us, the course, and a coach. And it's not as easy as you might think, but we are hopeful that we're going to add a course in Somerset County. I know that's not Middlesex County that you mentioned. My hope is that we're going to add I don't want to mention names, but I have been contacted by one and they're talking about it. So I'm hoping to hear something soon. In this case, we do have a coach lined up if that course comes on. It's not Metuchen and it's not in Middlesex County, but it is another course for us. And then we also, though, when we go to a facility, we got to keep in mind the facility too, right? So you mentioned Metuchen. I'm very familiar with Metuchen Golf and Country Club. The one downfall for Metuchen Golf and Country Club is they have no driving range. So that would be really hard for us to do any programming at a facility such as that. Driving ranges work pretty well. Golf courses with big practice facilities work very well. So those are some of the things we're looking at. We do programming at Tamarack in Middlesex County. I'm not sure if there's anywhere else more specific that I could look into. A little background on me. I've been now in the golf business in New Jersey since 1999, pretty much. So I do know a lot of people, but it's just a matter of us, getting together with the golf facility and finding a coach to have first tee programming at a facility. And that's whether it's a driving range or a green grass facility, which is a golf course. But good question. I'm open to help. If you know, let me know. Let's chat. Thank you. Let's see. Any other questions? I did see one, somebody, I don't know if they're still here, they're asked again about certification. So yeah, no, there's no more certification at the end of a level to move to the next. There will be a badge system that will be put in place eventually, which they'll be able to be, they're still going to be assessed by coaches, and they're going to be, given stuff to work on as they're being assessed in the class with golf skills, but there's no testing or certification like we had in the past. So that's one nice thing that I do like about the new refresh curriculum. No more books either for now. Our hopes are that, well, not my hopes. In 2023, the books are going to be digital. We're going to move to a digital platform. So this year there's no books for sure, and next year hopefully we're on that digital platform. Anything else for those of you just hanging out to hear the last questions? Making sure you're not missing any questions? No? I'd be glad to answer them. I think we have maybe about 7 or 8 minutes. I might have set the Zoom to 8:30 just to cover myself, hopefully. I always forget how long I set these things for. All right, at this time, I'm going to stop the recording.